Go through, I will just tell y'all, this is gonna probably feel like maybe the fastest 2-hour class you've been in. And it's normal to get to the end and feel a little bit overwhelmed because regardless of where you're at, we're going to go through lots of systems. And while I'm teaching it, you're going to be thinking about implementing it, who's going to implement it, and how fast can we implement it? And that's good. And usually I get to the end of the class and people also ask me, how long did it take you to create this? And before I tell you how long, what did we sacrifice? Lots of blood, sweat, and tears. Running and growing a market center is not for the faint of heart. And the way we learn is generally through some sort of failure or hiccup or a lost agent or feedback or a blow up or whatever that looks like. And so a little bit about how we got here. I have been with Keller Williams since end of 2013. I was actually recruited in to be a market center investor in Lexington, Kentucky. We were launching a market center that year. And part of that opportunity was traveling down to Austin and taking a class called Franchise Systems Orientation, which most of you have probably taken. And went down and took the class, fell in love with the company. I actually walked out of that class and made a conscious decision that I was going to use my gifts and talents to impact the world, and Keller Williams was going to be the place I did it. And I've not wavered on that. That's part of my personal life mission. And I've not wavered on that in the 10, 11, 12 years I've been here. And so get back to Lexington, I was invited to actually, part of launching a market center is acquiring recruiting, right? So all the investors needed to go get cappers. And I started calling all of my co-op agents and recruited like 12 agents in kind of out of the gate. So at that time, the operating principal said, hey, you'd be a great team leader. And I was like, what is a team leader? That's a CEO of a Keller Williams franchise. So here's me. I was a stay-at-home mom, by the way. What does a CEO do? I Googled it. And then it was like all the things. So I said, I am not qualified for this. And yet I love Keller Williams and I love getting people here. So let's just explore what it could look like. And I actually did end up being the team leader and launched a market center in 2014. We were the #1 market center launch in the company that year for volume launches, and went on to help them get that market center started. At the end of that year, I had some things happening in my personal life, and I transitioned out of the role and went back into production, which led me eventually back into MAPS coaching, became a MAPS coach in 2016, 17. And in 2019, this is where the class kind of starts, I got a call. My husband and I had invested in a market center in 2017. So we were kind of silent investors. We helped him get it started in Cincinnati, Ohio. And then in 2019, I get a call from the OP and he said, hey, I'm going to need to make a team leader change. And I want to take the ample amount of time to make a good hire. Would you be an interim team leader for me? And I was like, how long? And he said, maybe about 6 months. I said, okay. Now I was living in Lexington, Kentucky, and the interim team leader role was an hour and a half away in Cincinnati, Ohio. And at that time, I was a full-time coach and I wasn't willing to give that up. So I said, I will do this for 3 days a week. He said, okay, let's do it. I said, what do you need me to do? He said, I'm going to do all the market center stuff. It's perfect, by the way. Market center's perfect. Operations are amazing. All I need you to do is come in and recruit. I'm like, okay, I can do that. So take the job. I started in September of 2019. Interestingly, the first week I was on the job, we had 9 cappers leave the office, leave the company. So I was like, oh, this is interesting. And so I go into my first huddle and I said, hey, I'm so excited to be here. By the way, we're going to start growing. And the only way I know how to grow is by following an old OG model. This is called the 2-10-40. Anybody know the 2-10-40? 2-10-40. Yeah, this was a growth initiative. And so I said, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to commit to 40 appointments a month so we can gross 10. What are you all willing to do to help me get there? And everybody looked at me like I had grown a second head. Like they looked at me like I'd lost my mind. It was really weird. So I walk out of the meeting and the MCA pulls me aside and she says, "Hey, Tara, just so you know, nobody on this leadership team was ever hired with any expectation to help grow the market center." And I go, "Wow, that's interesting. So do I own a Keller Williams franchise, or like, where am I right now?" And she said, "Yeah, nobody here participates in growth. That's all you." And I'm like, "Well, what do you all do?" "Not that." I'm like, "Okay, all right." So that's how it started. Next thing that happens is I walk into an ALC meeting and the ALC goes, I say, "Okay, guys, we're going to grow the market center." And they go, "Great. By the way, we're not going to help you." And I go, "Why?" "We will never help you. We will never refer an agent to you because the experience joining this company is so poor that we don't feel good about partnering with you in that way." And I said, "What do you mean?" They said, "Yeah, we've referred people. They join here, they have wonderful experience, and they leave." So I'm like, this is interesting. So I walk into my MCA office again and I go, "Hey, I'm just curious, do we have an onboarding system?" And she says, "Yeah, we do." And I said, "Can I see it?" She goes, "Well, no, I don't actually have it documented." I said, "Well, where is it?" And she said, "It's up here in my head." I said, "Okay. So unless you want this crazy girl to text you at 2 a.m. to make sure we sent this email or this thing, because that's how my brain works, we're going to need to put that somewhere where we can all see it and work collaboratively as a team and make sure that we're doing this really well." And so that is actually how this started. This started with me thinking I was going in to grow a market center and very quickly realizing that growth is a team sport. And I'm going to be real transparent here. If you're a team leader on the call, you can share in the chat and you can agree or disagree or whatever. But if I'm a team leader and I'm making promises to people about what they're going to get, experience, and have as a part of our company, but I don't trust that my team is going to deliver it, subconsciously or consciously, I'm probably going to hit the brakes around hiring people. Would you guys agree with that? If you're a team leader making promises and that's not what they're experiencing after, if you're a person of integrity, you're probably going to go, "Oh, shoot, we need to stop," or I don't feel like I can say anything because that's not what's happening when you join. And so we had to also have a real heart-to-heart moment where we explored who we wanted to be, what we were going to be known for. And in that time, it was a 5-star experience when they join our company. And that's how we started building these systems. And the cool thing is one system led into the next system, which led into the next system. And we're still building systems and we still add things and tweak things. And yet I'll tell you what the results were. In 2019, I started in September. 2020, obviously COVID hit, right? And my 6-month term as a team leader turned into 3 years. Wasn't awesome for me, lots of commuting. And yet we got amazing results and we did it as a team and we did it with amazing systems. We grossed 137 agents in 2020 and we netted 72. So we almost doubled the size of our market center during COVID. In 2021, we grossed, I think, 128 agents. And in 2022, we also hit over 120. So 3 years in a row, we black belted using these systems. And if you guys don't know what that is, black belting is a Keller Williams Realty International award for growth and retention. Okay. It's 120 gross or 60 net. And if you have a really great year, you can do both in 1 year, right? You can hire a bunch of people and retain a bunch of people, and you can literally flip your market center just like that by doing this really well. Okay, so that's what we're going to go through. I know that was a little bit of a long kind of tee up to this, but what I want you all to know is it's taken us, I started teaching this in 2020 to grow my coaching roster. I coach leadership clients, and I've taught it now for almost 5 years. And we have seen market center after market center after market center take these systems and implement them and get similar results. If not, make them better and get better results. And so this is why we invite the whole team on, is I believe that growth is a team sport. And I also believe that growth begins the minute they walk into onboard in the market center, because we either deliver and over deliver promises and get referrals, or we start dropping balls and they start doubting why they made the decision to come. So that's what we're going to go over today. I do have my amazing team is on here. Super Kent, my cyberbacker, is here. And Lexi Hildebrand is also here. See if anybody else is here. Is Tristan in here? No. Yes, Tristan is here. So Lexi is here. She partners with me as a director of agent services in our Lexington location. And Tristan Hayes is here. He works with us in our 4 locations in an operations capacity. And so they're going to answer questions. If you guys have them, put them in the chat. And you guys stop me if I don't see them so we can make sure we get them all covered. What happened from there, you all? I became the OP of that market center at the end of 2020, which led to an opportunity in Lexington, Kentucky in 2021, which led to an opportunity in Louisville, Kentucky in 2023, which led to an opportunity in Southern Indiana in 2024. So I went from the crazy team leader driving up and down the road 3 days a week to now a multiple market center operating principal. I have 4 market centers. We have about 800 agents in our operations, and I am a MAPS executive leadership coach. And I also coach launching market centers with Keller Williams Realty International. Okay, so I want you to hear here, your opportunities are endless. There's nothing special about me. I'm still the girl that was a stay-at-home mom and had to Google, what does the CEO do? I just got an opportunity and I looked for ways to make it amazing. And when you do that in our company, all kinds of great things follow. Okay, so we are going to get started. If you guys have, anybody have any questions before we start or ahas from that? You guys ready to rock and roll? Ready to rock and roll.
Hey, Tara.
Yes.
Real quick, just briefly, you talked about flipping the market centers.
Yep.
Can you share a little bit about what that agent experience and the leadership team experience was before you flipped and how it is now after you flipped?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll start with this. You are where you are today. Where you are is just where you are. And the people you're in business with are the people you're in business with. And so I think sometimes we have little defining moments where we just decide we're going to choose to do things different, right? We're going to choose to do things better. And to in full transparency, Sean, the people I started with in that market center, they're not in business with me today because we got down the path and they decided that they weren't playing with the same level of heart that I was playing with, or they didn't choose to play that way. And because you and I have worked together, I say candidly, when I hire talent, when we hire people, we don't have any jobs in our company. If you're looking for a job where you clock in and clock out and fulfill your time and get a paycheck, you're just not the right fit for me. You might be the right fit somewhere. And yet in our companies, the people we choose to get in business with, they play with their heart. And they have a desire at some level to impact people's lives and make a difference in their business. And they show up every day in that capacity. And I just think we play so hard. We play all in, and you guys all know you're all leaders on this call. We give our heart and soul to our people. If you don't care about people at that level, I think in a market center, it's going to be tricky to bring the energy you need to bring to get change. And so again, we just made the decision we were going in this direction. And then we kind of pulled people along. And as we implemented the systems, I learned there are certain people that actually operate better off of spreadsheets than others. And I've made hires since then where I've gone, shoot, they don't know how to check their email. That's probably not the right hire for me in a systematic and a systems-driven business, right? So we've had to kind of tweak who we hire, heart behind it, and what their skills and talents are since implementing. Yeah. And I'm not telling, just so y'all know, I'm not telling you to go scratch everything. I'm just saying that you got to make a decision. We're going to go in this direction and then give people the time. Like, we didn't have job descriptions when I started. Like, there were 9 people on staff and not a single job description and no standards. So I don't know how to lead somebody if they're not clear on how to win in their role. So we just started over and we said, okay, what is your role and what is your job description and what are the standards? So we know if they're succeeding or not. And we've gotten a little better and better as we've gone. So thank you for that question. Okay, guys, I'm working on my master faculty designation. You don't have to do this right now, but I will stop you at some point and ask you to do a review. My goal is for you to have a 5-star experience. And if you're not having it, just message me during the class and let me know if I'm something I can do to make it better, right? Okay, so we're going to start here. This is the Keller Williams Policy and Guidelines Manual. Interestingly, we have challenges and they have answers. And if you're on this call, you're sitting in a franchise that has really lined out the best ways to do business, right? And the best ways they'd like to see us operate in our market centers. So I would recommend every single person on your leadership team have a copy of this. And when we run into a challenge or a question we don't know the answer to, the very first place we go is the Policy and Guidelines Manual. So that is here. I will also throw this in. Raise your hand or like just your actual hand. You don't need to do a digital hand, but how many of you guys have your agents acknowledge that they will read this when they join your company? Anybody raising their hand? Nobody's raising their hand? I am. Yeah, it's in my onboarding packet. Right? So they sign off that they will go pull and review the Policy and Guidelines Manual. And what I will tell you all is if I had to guess, 0 to 0% ever do. Right? And so I think it's just important that at some level, our agents understand that we're not operating entrepreneurially or creatively. We have a best practice on how we run our companies. Okay? Okay, so here's the thing. I believe growth is a choice. And I don't think it's going to happen by accident. Now, I'm going to share my beliefs in lots of things, and you guys can choose to adopt it or not. But I truly believe that growth is a choice, and your commitment to growth is only as strong as your ability to get up every single day and recommit over and over and over again. Growth is a choice. And that could be your personal growth. That could be your market center growth. Whatever that looks like for you, it takes conscious action to be in growth. Now, in my mind, I also see growth as a team sport. And you guys, I don't know anything about football. I will tell you this. I pulled this picture because what I do know is I know that we take timeouts. And when do teams like either football or basketball or whatever, when do we typically take a timeout? And what happens in the timeout? What's the purpose of a timeout other than buy time?
Things are getting a little chaotic.
Things are getting chaotic. Tammy, you said reset, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so in my mind, we're playing a game, right? The goal of the game is to win. And we understand that to win, we're going to be tracking score. And if we get behind or we're losing, we huddle, right? We huddle. And in huddle, we say, okay, let's get our heads in the game. We're going to win this game. And here's what we're going to do. You're going to run here. I'm going to run here. And you're going to throw the ball. And at the end of this play, the goal is that we score. Okay. In my mind, that's what market center teams do really well. We've huddled every day, my entire time in market center leadership, long before there were models for this. We come in, we talk about the goal, we talk about the gap, and specifically, what is each person on the team going to do to help us get to the goal, right? And then we walk out of the meeting and we go do the things that get us to goal, right? So growth is a team sport. I see recruiting and retention as growth. Recruiting and retention is growth. Retention starts the moment they come into onboard. And our entire team participates. we recruit inside and we recruit outside of our organization every single engagement that we have. We win together, we lose together, but everybody plays. Okay. It's going to be real tough to win a football game if there's only a quarterback and there's nobody playing defense, right? If your team leader's your quarterback, what are the plays everybody else on the team are making for us to get to the win? Interestingly, this is one of my things. We almost only hire people that have played some sort of athletic sport. And that's because people that have played sports understand how to track and they know how to keep score. And oftentimes they're competitive and they don't like to lose. And that for me works well in our organizations because we like to play the same way. Okay. So just so you guys understand the logistics of this, you guys are going to get this slide deck after the class. And each slide deck or each slide has something we're going to talk about. And when you get it, you're going to click on the QR code, and that QR code is going to open a template of that tool in your Canva account or in your Google Drive, which means you now have edit access to take it and make it your own. Okay, so I just kicked into the organizational chart. So this is your organizational chart. In your market centers, there should be some type of organizational chart on who reports to who. Okay. And hold on a sec. Let me get my slides back up. Why do you guys think it might be important to understand who reports to who in an organization? Why would we maybe want to do that? Communication. Yep. Go ahead.
You would do that in order to provide clarity for each person as to, like, especially if they have a job role, right? Like, everybody should know what they're doing. And if they need support in achieving that goal, they need to have clarity from the person who is driving that goal. So if I'm the OP and I want the team leader to recruit 2R2s and he goes and asks the dopey how to do that, like, probably not going to work out well.
Right. Yeah, we're building, you guys, if a market center is working like it should, it's like a machine and there are cogs in the wheel and everybody's doing their part. And by doing their part really well, the whole thing starts moving, right? And so if we don't know who's doing what, and we don't know who we report to, that to me sounds like chaos. And that's not fun. And the agents can feel fun, right? Or chaos. And so the other thing is in your market center, the person that you're reporting to, ideally, you guys should be holding a one-to-one every week, right? Our DFIs sit with our MCAs every week and they do a one-to-one in our world, right? And they talk about what are the goals, what are the gaps, their 411, things like that. The other thing I love about an opportunity map or the organizational chart is if you look at ours, there's lots of TBDs. We don't have hires there yet. So when you hire talent is always going to know, where am I going next? And what do I got to do to get there? So we're also showing them the organization and how it intends to grow and their opportunities to grow with us. Now, if you guys are taking notes, I want you to write this down. In my world, when I go to hire a DFI, Director of First Impressions, that's an entry-level role for us. There's two things we hire. We hire a future team leader or we hire a future MCA. That's it. So I want you to think about every person you hire. Like I just heard Mark Willis say this at CV. You hire people to be in relationship with you for life. So like so cul-de-sac talent and capacity talent, right? So hire talent that can grow with your organization. If you hire someone that's not talented, they're going to be stuck and it gets tricky to manage and motivate people long-term if they don't have another opportunity to grow into. So that's what that kind of looks like for us. Now, this little system we created, and you guys will have this. but this is just a spreadsheet. I have found spreadsheets are my friend. And that's why we ask the MCAs to be on these calls. So what we've done is we've taken all of the core tasks that need to be accomplished in the market center. So if you're a baby market center, generally there's 3 people, right? Or you have your operating principal and maybe a broker, but we have an MCA, a team leader, and a DFI. And so those 3 people do everything. And then as our market center grows, generally around 150 agents, we start going, okay, it might be time for agent services. Well, when we hire agent services, we actually go, okay, what is the DFI doing now that we can split off? And is this DFI promoting to agent services? What part of the job do they love? They take that part, and then we hire someone to do the job that remains. And so in a spreadsheet format, you can just kind of like copy and move people's core kind of parts of their job and make sure everything is covered as your organization spreads. You guys will see when you get in here, we have job descriptions for us by role. We have some basic 30, 60, 90s. There's your DAS 30, 60, 90, team leader, assistant team leader, MCA is in here, 30, 60, 90s. For that, I've got some even more robust 30, 60, 90s. So if you all find that you need more, just let me know and we can share that resource too. But just be thinking about how do you think this out on paper before you create the job contract, right? Which is kind of going to be where we head next. And so this next one is, so again, I'm in a market center with no job standards, written policies, or anything else. And we created all of this. So you guys are going to get a sample of, you've got obviously our KWRI non-solicitation agreement. We all have access to that. But here in the middle is leadership staff policies. This for us is office hours, vacation time, comp time, sick leave. What does tardiness look like? What is the disciplinary action? What is our dress code? What is the technology usage? Now, interestingly, everything on here is on here because we learned by making a hire that wasn't respectful of what like best practice would be, right? I had to put dress code on there because my DFI showed up in cutoff jeans and an MTV t-shirt one day. And I go, oh shoot, we don't have a policy for that, right? And so that's in here. And then you guys will see this next one is just a job contract. We keep these in the Google Drive so that they're editable if we do indeed end up moving parts of the role around based on the hire we make. These are all in here. This is in here as a sample, so you guys will have it. And that is kind of what our job contracts look like. We have them sign all of that, and they sign the 52 items. They initial every one of the 52 items of what is culture at onboarding. Because my job contract says that they have read and understand the cultural policies of Keller Williams. And that means that they actually have to read them and understand them. So we ask them to do that as part of coming into the company. Okay. This next slide is just some like sample postings. If you guys need social media posts, you're going to get a Canva packet with different jobs and some social graphics to promote your jobs. We have gone back and forth when I first started and we had a vacancy. It was interesting. We were missing a person and we thought we were going to hide it from the agents. That's really interesting. So we didn't like tell them, oh my gosh, we're trying to make this hire, and we would try to go hire around the agents. And what we have found to work better is to hire through the agents, because the cool thing is most of our hires in the last 2, 3, or 4 years are relationships that the agents had that they brought into the company. So we advertise it, we promote it, we talk about it, we talk about hiring, we talk about opportunity. We talk about the power of change and the processes of CV with the 30, 60, 90 and standards. So we just normalize turnover if we have the wrong person in the seat. Okay, so this tracker is actually one that we created. Actually, Lexi created this for me. And it is a leadership team tracking tracker, okay? And so what this looks like is, let me find the totals. Ooh, we have a simpler version of this we need to put in here, Kent, if you can help me with that. So this is a multiple market center tracker, but here's what I want you guys to see. We'll get you a one market center tracker. In our organization, we talked about standards, right? So every job has standards on how many appointments they're going to hold externally if they're a recruiter. All my recruiters are in green, or my attractors, and my staff, my leadership team, is in blue. So what we're doing is we're teaching our team to report numbers just like we would like a mega agent would. So what they're doing is they're reporting daily. Here's how many contacts I made. Here's how many dials I made. Here's how many appointments I set. Here's how many I held. Here's how many hires we made. And as a team, then we can inspect what we expect and hold people accountable. So that's the other thing. If you have standards and we're not holding them accountable, it's likely you're not getting the result that you desire to get. Right? So some type of leadership tracking system to verify that you guys are getting the results. So next slide, you guys, this is, I'm going to talk a little bit about developing your people. So when we hire someone on our leadership team, the very first thing they get a spiral bound MREA. Okay, because we see every person we hire as talent, and we also want to develop them around our models. They carry these binders. I'll show you. I've got mine with me. So it literally is the thing you can see in the middle. And why we do this is I want my leaders, regardless of role, if I'm in a huddle and I say, hey guys, our listings are down last month, would love to see us increase our training around listings next month, we can actually resource and reference the tools, right, that we want to be talking about as a leadership team. Okay. So leadership team carries binders. In our binder, we have a regional rankings, kind of keeps track of where we show up in our region. Again, I try to hire competitive people. I've got our multi-year trends in here. We have the GPS for the market center. I also have their 411 in here. I also have the short form KPA. So they have their KPA if they're talking about it or want to show it to somebody. And we have some shortcuts for key pages of the MREA and the one thing. I want to go back one slide and show you guys something else. Yes, the binder should be updated. Yes, Lexi, you're right. Their job description is also in here. So if we're doing a one-to-one and they're not really sure what they're supposed to be doing, we can always reference the job description to go back and say, hey, this is how we want this to look in this area. Binders should be updated monthly, Pam. Like in my mind, that's probably an MCA and DFI thing. Everybody gets their binders updated when reports drop. And yeah, so I'm going to show you. Oh, this is something different. Let me go back one slide. I want to show you one more thing we do before I show you that. So this slide where I had the numbers tracking, here's the other thing we have here. This is pretty cool. How many of you guys, I'm sure you all have heard of Jason's 6 consulting conversations, right? 6 consulting conversations. When you go to KW Connect and you actually pull the 6 consulting conversations, there are, anybody want to guess how many videos there actually are to watch and learn? Throw it in the chat. How many videos do you think are in the actual consulting conversations trainings? Sean, you cheated. Ooh, 267, Brendan. Love it. Yeah. Sean's like 50 million. Yeah. There's around 165. And so here's the reality in our world. Everyone we hire to our leadership team, their job in their first 90 days is to watch all 165 videos, regardless of role. So our director of first impressions, who we just hired, she doesn't know anything about Keller Williams. She will watch 165 videos. So now she knows how to cultivate relationships. She understands what a big why is. She understands how to set goals. She knows what a needs analysis is. She knows how to do tech audits. She knows what the 30-30-40 model is and all the parts of that. She can speak to people assessment and just the organizational chart, the KPA, how to empower agents to build wealth is in here, how to recruit indies for disruptive growth, cultivate lasting relationships in the market center. So this is a live question. You can come off mute or put it in the chat. But if you hire talent and they watch all 165 videos in their first 90 days, would that impact your market center? And in what way would it impact your market center? What do you guys think? Is that impactful? The team leaders should be raising their hand. Yeah. If I'm a team leader and I'm the only one doing this training, and I am the only one recruiting and the one doing retention conversation and the only one learning the models and the only one's doing saving calls and the only one doing AR calls and conflict resolution, I've got a really tough job, right? But if I hire talent and they come in and they know what an economic model is and they know how to run the play, now I'm running a team sport. That's right. You can grow them into their next opportunity, right? And so here's the reality. Sometimes we hire team leaders and they get nervous about recruiting and they go, oh my gosh, I've never sold real estate. And I go, you go read that MREA. Actually, if you read it once, you're probably past about 90 to 95% of the agents in your market center. If you read it twice, you've left them all behind. So if my team leader can do it, why can't my director of first impression read the MREA twice and learn our models? Why can't my PC coach read it twice? Everyone in my team can read the MREA twice and be ahead on our models than about 99% of the agents that we consult. Right? So that's what we're looking for, is we're looking to develop our leaders so that we can actually leverage people to get better results. So you guys will see here, this is in here. These are those key pages of the MREA and Shift. These are just shortcuts. So like if I'm talking to somebody and they're like, I don't know what the 3 L's are in the MREA. Well, that's on page 97. So I have my MREA, I just kick it open to 97 and I have a shortcut. Okay, this is the what is culture and action document. This is the one that we have all of our staff, when we hire them, initial each of the 52 items, okay? So here's why. We started doing leadership advance, like kind of, we don't say retreat. So 2 or 3 times a year, we do a leadership advance. We take our whole team out of work for a day, and we focus on something that needs to happen for development with the team, and then usually something fun, right? So the first time I did this, I thought I need a good icebreaker. So I pull out this culture in action, pass it out. There were 20 people there that day, 20 leaders, 2 market center teams. And we went around and I had each person read their favorite one until we did them all. So we just went around and around until we read all 52. At the end of that, I said, okay, how many of y'all, that's the first time you've read all 52 items? What do you guys think? What do you think? How many on my team had read all 52? Yeah, Sean, you're right. No, but actually there weren't any. So that was a real eye-opening moment for me as a market center leader, because interestingly, every day we talked about what we thought culture was. We'd go, oh, that agent is out of culture. Oh my gosh, that person is in culture. So we just had to have a real heart-to-heart where I asked my team, how are we defining culture if we don't actually know how Mo Anderson defined culture? Like, this is what culture is. Like, culture is living up to your ALC covenant. Culture is following the model. Culture is lead generating 3 hours a day. Here's another one we got snagged up on. You know what else culture is? Number 38, building your level 1 profit share tree to 15 as fast as possible. This is a true story. When I joined Keller Williams, I actually came partially because of profit share. And I said, okay, how do I do this? And how many people do I need to get? And the OP at the time said, a team leader at the time said, you just need to get 15 in your downline as quick as possible. That is Keller Williams culture. And I was like, oh crap, I got to get 15 because I don't want to be out of culture. And I left that meeting and I pulled every co-op deal I'd done in 5 years. I called every single one of them and said, hey, I just wanted to let you know, I made a decision to move to Keller Williams, yada, yada, yada. Would you have a coffee with me? I'd love to share what's going on. And that's how I became the team leader, is I started calling people. But the reality is, I thought if I didn't sponsor 15 people, Keller Williams was going to let me go. I thought if I didn't follow this, I was going to be out of culture, and out of culture for me was a non-negotiable. So I'm with my leadership team and I say, how many of you all have 15 people in your downline right now? Anybody want to guess? 0. Actually, I said, how many of you all have anyone in your downline? And I think out of the 20, we might have had 1. Okay, that's a red flag. How are we as leaders going to sell the value of one of the key parts of our value proposition at Keller Williams? How are we going to sell it to the agents and get them excited and get buy-in if we aren't actively participating in it? So this is the moment where, as a leadership team, we decided we also, you know what's cool? We also go to cool restaurants and have great servers that we also can invite to career night, right? We also, as a leadership team, go to meet people at school events, church events, social events that we can talk about our career in real estate. And so this is the day that I asked my leaders if they would go first culturally, so that we could then go back and ask our agents to follow this. And that's what it looks like to be a leader, right? We have to go, we get to go first and we get to lead the way. And you guys are going to get this. That was the kind of kickoff to our leadership advance that year. I'll show you this real quick. So each time we do a leadership advance, it's kind of about like what is needed most at this time. And this one, we always start with what is culture. 100% of the time. We go around and we talk about 52 items of what is culture. This is the one we did in the summer. So we read a book called The Leader Who Had No Title. This book is about, regardless of what you do and what your title is, you can lead and impact people's lives. And we all read that and we shared our takeaways. We talked about growth. We looked at the top performing market centers in the company on gross recruiting and net recruiting. Because here's the thing, sometimes we think we're doing really good, and we are. And sometimes we just don't yet know what's possible. So we look at what's possible and we go, if it's possible for them, wouldn't that also be possible for us? And how do we model what top market centers are doing? This graphic you guys are going to get, we have this hanging on outside of every leadership team member's door. This is the pathway to 15, which is the people that we've sponsored to the company. So they hung them up, they write their names if they get an opportunity to sponsor people, and we actively lead the way in growing our profit share and wealth so we can then have active conversations with our agents. Then this one we talked about job or passion. We always go over generally talent versus non-talent and how we show up. This specific one, I had a new leadership team, newer people. I had each person get up and read their entire job description for the rest of the people on the team. And it was mind-blowing because, first of all, most of them did not know what each other was doing. And second of all, I think we kind of just asked, are we willing to give each other grace on those days when things get really chaotic? Because we all have a bunch on our plate. And I also believe that to get the machine going, we've got to work together as a team, as like cogs in a wheel. We talked about the cash talk. This specific one, we also did, everybody was feeling a little tired. And so we talked about the 5 love languages. and we did the activity in our meeting. And I had a bunch of giveaways that I had out, and we did the test, and then we shared our love languages, and we looked for ways we could actively pour into each other to refuel each other on the day-to-day. There's that. And then we walked through referrals and some command training. We did some retention training, role plays and scripts. And then we trained our entire leadership team on a walkthrough of our recruiting presentation / value presentation. So the reality for us is any person on any of our leadership teams could sit down and go through a real basic value presentation on who we are as a company. And then we went through lore, talked about an opportunity we have with Keller Home Loans, and then some of our goals as we were closing out the year. So that was kind of our last leadership team thing. This was, I actually put this in the deck and then forgot to share it with them. I had hired a girl to our team, and she'd been with us maybe less than 30 days. And I was walking around the market center one morning, and I saw this playbook with a note stuck on somebody's window. That is what I like to see in my leadership team. This person went out of her way to find a resource for someone that needed it, and she delivered it to her in that way. And we did a happy hour. So that's a leadership advance for us. This is that, you guys saw this in another tab, but this is that consulting conversations exercise with all of the videos. So Sean, this kind of plays into your initial question. When we first uncovered these videos, I already had my entire team in place, and I wanted to get them caught up. So we just did a little contest, and everybody who finished it by the deadline got entered into a drawing, and we gave something away. Right? So essentially, you can gamify it. That's my team up there at the top. You can gamify it that way. And then as you hire new people, you just have them do that in their first 90 days. So next thing I want to, well, before I go into this, let me just come off sharing my screen, and I want to get like some questions or ahas from you guys. What are you guys learning in that first section? I know that was a lot of slides and material, but what did you see or learn, or something that you might want to implement into your market center? Not everybody at once.
I can speak from experience on the gross to grow. At least that's what we call it. I think that's also what you call it, that spreadsheet with we probably got that from you. Gosh, we've been probably doing it half the year so far. For about 6 months, we have data. And whenever we onboard people to the team, having those consulting videos right there, it helps elevate them so quickly when having conversations with agents. The agents buy into the staff members more than we've ever seen before. And they're able to have conversations quicker with the agents in the office, and it validates them and their position on the team. And so that has been a huge help for us whenever we onboard people to our staff team.
I love that. Yeah. I mean, think about empowering people, right? Like if I joined a Keller Williams Market Center, I mean, we have our own language, our own lingo. It's like, if I were the new person, I'd be like, what is going on here? So even just them feeling like they can have conversations around our models is empowering, right? Yeah.
You've done a good job at creating a system to be not just the DOFI, not just the MCA, but a true leader inside of the market center. Like it does not matter if you're at the front desk or you're in a recruiting appointment, or if you're the market center tech trainer. Everybody on your leadership team can be led by you, and you can help every agent in that office.
Yeah, I agree. And if you're a team leader, like here's how, again, all of this came through our pain, right? I did look up as a team leader at one point and go, I'm doing everything. I felt like I was doing everything. And I think my team wanted to help me. They just didn't know how, because I was going to all the trainings. I was learning all the models. Like I had almost elevated myself to the place that I was the one-stop shop. And that's not scalable, right? And that will put you in burnout really, really fast, right? So what we do, if you guys weren't, I did do a breakdown of this model, which you'll get, how to get 80 agent recruiting referrals a month through your market center leadership team. I taught this with MAPS a week or two ago. It's a 1-hour session where I go more in detail on some of these models. If you need that or want that, just message Kent, my assistant, and we'll get you that, or email me, we'll get you that. But what we do is basically we huddle every day for 30 minutes, but on Fridays we huddle for an hour. And on Fridays, we do our regular huddle, and then we spend some time training. We do some development of our people. So here's the cool thing. Your people can consult based on their role, or you can decide, you know what, our market center is not tied to models very well. Like I think a lot of KW offices have moved away from models, and obviously our leadership is saying we need to get back to the basics, right? So you can decide for the entire month of December, everyone on the team is going to go out and hold 20 appointments on economic model. And if you're the team leader, you can just on a Friday huddle or another huddle, you can model it. You can get out a whiteboard and you can teach your team how to do an economic model conversation. You can role play it, and then they can sit with you in a couple of meetings. And then they're going to go, I'm ready to do this myself. And now you've duplicated your skill into someone else that can go then impact more people. Right? So thank you for sharing that, Sean. Okay. I am going to find my screen that disappeared, and then we're going to jump back in.
Hey,
So
Terry,
the
while
next,
you're doing that, just
yeah,
want to throw this out there. Thanks again for doing this. It's sure come a long way. I was just reflecting that this maybe isn't for everybody, right? Like this is really learning based. This really helps people, like really growth minded, and this may not be for everybody. And yet this may be an opportunity for everybody. Just it's a massive opportunity to grow, right? Real fast. Love how you laid it out.
yeah, that like gave me goosebumps. I think you're so right. Like, the opportunity to grow is an opportunity. And if you are truly creating a growth environment, there's nothing worse than you're in there excited about growing something and somebody's like, I don't want to do it. That's tough, right? So I think you're right. Like, that doesn't mean that's a bad person. It just means that that might be a square peg in a round hole, because Keller Williams is a growth environment. And who we are today is probably not who we are going to be 5 years from now. It's really tough to not grow in this company. You have to like actually choose not growing most of the time. So, okay, cool. I am going to, we're going to talk a little bit about shared calendaring. And let me actually pull up a calendar here. How do I pull up my calendar? So when we hire people on our leadership team, like I am a huge believer in time management. And I also believe that the items in your job description that are your big rocks, where should those things be? Should be in your
411.
calendar. Yeah, they should be on your 411, and they should be time blocked in your calendar. So when we talk about standards around, like for us, every single person on my leadership teams, regardless of role, we want them holding 5 30-minute retention appointments every week. That's 2.5 hours of your week that you're helping pour into our agents. We have specific metrics for us. Our target is 40 recruiting appointments a month for the market center. And that could be one person or a recruiting team, right? So if that is the standard, when we open our calendar should reflect the standards that we have in place, because if it's not on your calendar, it doesn't exist. So in my world, we predetermine, like if the team leader is going to set 10 appointments a week, I want to see 10 blocks of time ready for appointments sitting there that now their job is to put people in. I don't want to see an open calendar and we go, gosh, I hope I set an appointment. I want to see all 10 on there, and our job is to put people in them. So I'm going to show you guys, when we hire someone to our team, that's scary. You don't want to get in there. When we hire someone to our leadership team, we actually link their calendars to the entire leadership team before they even get access to them. So everybody on my leadership team, I'm the operating principal. Everybody on my leadership team has access to my calendar. They can see where I'm at. If they need me, they know when I'm available. They can take time if they need it, right? Because I've already predetermined all of my big rocks, right? Let me see if I can pull. I'm Lexi, I'm gonna pull yours. This is Lexi's calendar, right? She's one of the people in my team. She's got retention appointments, she's got recruiting appointments, we've got onboarding stuff. Let me show you. Gosh, I could probably pull up anybody's. They're all time blocked. This is one of my team leaders. So the cool thing about shared calendaring is this is an example for you. So this is my team leader's calendar, one of my team leaders. We preset our business consultations, or we call that's a recruiting appointment. Inside the recruiting appointment, we've predetermined hyperlinks for videos and things about Keller Williams that we think would be cool for them to watch before the meeting. So if I'm at home on Saturday and somebody texts me, or let's just say they message me on Facebook and they go, "Hey, Tara, I am looking to make a move in my business and I've loved learning and watching what you've done at Keller Williams. Could I come in and meet with you next week?" I'm going to go, "Yeah, let me see what we have available because I'd like you to meet with Joseph as well." I'm probably going to toggle my schedule and Joseph's schedule because you can do that, right? So I can put my schedule and Joseph's schedule up and I can go into a time and I can look, and it's crazy, right? But I can go, "Oh my gosh, you know what? I'm looking at our calendars and right now we could meet you at 3:00 on Thursday or 4:00 on Thursday. Which one of these is better for you?" I don't have to call Joseph. I don't have to text Joseph on his weekend. I don't have to start another communication method that might lose the lead, right? I just open the calendar and I go, "Here's what's available," because we respect each other's calendar, but we also understand that if it's open and we're in a working time, we're going to use it for the most important things. And I would just grab the appointment. I would add the person, their invite, and I would move it to that time, that day, and that time. For me, when I set recruiting appointments, I turn them green. That's an OG hack. And I would save it. And when Joseph comes in on Monday, he's going to go, "Oh, cool. Tara and I have an appointment at 3:00 on Thursday together." Okay. That's how we operate our calendar. We use our calendars for our big rocks, and then we use them actually to kind of communicate and navigate our teams. Okay. Here's the other thing. We have preset onboarding appointments that are held by our DFIs. Our DFIs for us do onboarding. I'm not saying you have to do it that way. That's just how we're set up. We have predetermined onboarding appointments. Generally, you're going to see about 3 a week. Let me see if we're missing some. So we like to see 3. We keep them sitting in Sunday, right? And if somebody also wants to onboard, and let's say they call me or anybody on the team, I can pull up my DFI schedule. I'm going to click on the onboarding appointment. This actually has built in what they need to bring to the appointment and what we're going to cover in the appointment. And we just add the person and we move it into an open time. This one is pre-set up. Generally, we set these up where the MCA and the team leader know when someone's coming in to onboard. So anybody that's onboarding that needs to know in your onboarding team, you would want to include those in the predetermined appointment blocks. So it's essentially like we don't hide what we're doing. We all have access to what we're doing. And we kind of know what each other's supposed to be working on in order to get all of the jobs done. Okay. You guys will get access to kind of what we have in these appointment blocks. So you can see how to set yours up. These are reoccurring appointment blocks. So you don't have to rebuild this every week. If every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, my goal is to be in 3 appointments, those are 3 appointments are going to set in those times every week. And they just repeat week over week. Okay. Let me check my chat here. make sure that I didn't miss anything. Okay.
Tara, or maybe it's a
Oh.
question for Lexi. Do you
me-
use the appointment dashboard little web page that they get with their different time blocks that you would just?
We don't, and I love that you built that. That was really cool. And I actually asked Kent to look at that for the teams. So Sean actually has built a dashboard in Google where they can select like
It does
retention.
it by itself.
Oh, it does.
So if
Cool.
you go to the calendar, Tara,
Yep.
Yeah.
hit the bar, that's all the way through the time zone. You can open booking page.
Where is
Yeah,
it?
I have a booking page on mine that I have tech appointments for internal retention appointments, and then I have an outside, like R0 interested in a career in real estate. So I do have a dashboard. I have, like, it's in my email signature so that they can set an appointment from the retention side straight through my email
Yeah.
signature. And then I do have the Google because we've got profit share sites. So I have an appointment link that we use on our profit share sites for anybody that's in school. For us, in the way that we work our system, if they're a recruit that's in school, they come into a one-on-one. If they're not in school yet, they go to a career night. So that appointment link for us is reserved for people who are in school. But yeah.
Yeah, I want to show you guys one more thing. If I can find it. Front desk, okay. The other thing that we've pre-built, and we've not built this out completely, but I have built this for the DFI position. Our DFI position is very task heavy. They do our calendar, they run our affiliate program, all kinds of like profit share stuff and social stuff. So something that I did set up a couple of years ago is we have these DFI deadlines or benchmarks. And what's cool about this is it's just a reminder. So every Friday, we'd like to see our DFI doing an agent spotlight on social media. We've created a Google form to collect that information. And so that kicks into a spreadsheet and the agents actually get to tell us what to post. So that's one thing in there. We have, let's see, every month around the 10th is when the reports come out. So my DFI should be creating graphics for areas of the multi-year trends that we want to share, things for team meeting on multi-year trends, any type of accolades for agents whose business is up, the lore report, anything that we use our reports for. This is where our DFI is going to grab those. Every month around the middle of the month, we'll show you this in a minute, but we do an affiliate survey for our affiliate partners. And you guys can just see there are some checklists in here. So the 15th of the month is when we want to be scheduling out, like this is the third Friday. This is when we like to see our calendar completed. And the DFI spends the last week of the month doing all of the content creation, promotion, and all the things for the classes. So if you have a job that's very task heavy with specific times you want it done, just pre-build those calendar invites. And then regardless of who's in the role, you've already built a little system there that's always in place. So that's something that, you know, we've learned and started building. Okay. Next slide, you guys are just going to get a sample Market Center GPS, and that is going to kick into a Google Drive. You can edit it, but you'll get to see what this looks like for us. It's tabbed out with each priority, who does what on each priority, and all of the specifics when we build out our GPS for the year. And for us, our target is to host a specific number of agent events, client events, and pop buys or pop buy workshops every year. And the way we set this up, this is a model, right? Our goal is once a quarter, we do an agent event for our real estate agents that work with us. Once a quarter, we host an event for them. That's a client event. So example of an agent event would be March Madness. We do summer barbecue. We have taken them to the Reds games, and then we always do like a holiday event. A client event, one year we did flowers, like they were $5 a pot. We did it around Mother's Day. They could RSVP so many flowers. We had them all delivered, and they took the flowers out and gave them away, or they had people come to the office and pick them up. We also do a pie day. That's happening in all of our offices in November. So the agents pre-order like pumpkin pies and apple pies, and we'll have like 600 or 700 pies that come to the office from Costco. And their clients are in and out all day picking up pies and taking photos. And it's just a really fun event. We've done cash giveaways. We've done, like, we did a Bengals Steelers giveaway a couple years ago. And so we try to do those once a quarter. So we're helping facilitate for our agents events that they may not actually be able to do on their own. And then once a quarter, we like to do pop buys. Pop buys are just little 50-cent, 25 to 50-cent things that you're going to tie a little note on and drop in your agent mailboxes. So we've done pop rocks, we've done popcorn, like popping into 2025, packs of popcorn. We tied a little note from the market center team. We dropped in the mailbox. We've also done pop by workshops, which are really fun. A pop by workshop one we did was hot cocoa packets. So they paid for the material. It was $35 for 25 kits. And we ordered everything on Amazon. And they came in for 2 or 3 hours. They sat down at a table and it had cocoa packets, candy canes, Hershey Kisses, little mini marshmallows. They bagged them all up. We made custom tags and they came in, they drank wine, we listened to music, they made their pop buys. They walked out with a box of things that they could then just go deliver. It was a lot of fun. And we did it in the market center and the agents really enjoy those. You guys are going to get a sample of all of the events that we have hosted, most of them, and I'll show you what this looks like. Was anybody here during Bet on Red? That was a good time. Yeah, Bet on Red. So we kind of like stole the Bet on Red toolkit to make these events. And so I'll just show you the Bengals one. So how this works, this was a Bengals Steelers giveaway. The cost to the market center was about $2,000. No, it's $1,200. So in order for us to do this, we needed, how many people? What's 1,200 divided by 50? 60 people? No, that's too much. It's like 30 people. Essentially, we just calculate out the cost and we go to the agents and we say, okay, we've got this amazing giveaway. If you pay $50 to participate, you can advertise this giveaway to your database as if it's your own giveaway. Okay, so this one, the market center created all the graphics, right? So we created promotional materials and graphics, and they paid their $50 to participate. I don't know if I can play that. This is something that somebody created. It's cute. So lots of graphics. You guys can see that. Basically what we do is they get a toolkit. The toolkit came from Bet on Red, and we just give them the instructions, all the resources. They get an email to promote it, a call script, a text script, all their social posts. It's all built in. And on a specific day and time, the clients call the agent and they enter to win. Okay. And the agents all come to the market center that day. We have a potluck and we open a Google form during that specific time that they set and lead receive. So I'm going to show you this because this is kind of cool. Let me see if I can find a Google form. You guys are going to get all this. So when you get in here, you'll find all kinds of stuff. Okay. This is a Google form. This was a cash giveaway. It was $1,000 cash giveaway. So we needed 20 agents to pitch in $50. There's your cash. And the agents come in, you turn on your Google form, they sit and lead receive for 3 or 4 hours. So people are just calling to enter to win. And they literally just say, they put their name in, they put in their client's name, and they put in their phone number, email, mailing address, and birthday. And then they ask the question, who do you know that's interested in buying, selling, or investing in real estate next year? And are you a current real estate agent? Yes, no, I'm interested in classes, I'm licensed at another brokerage, or I'm an affiliate in another industry. And then they click submit and we do it again. So all they're doing is lead receiving. At the end of the event, the market center takes all of the responses, right? We take all of the responses. This has been sorted. And we take all the names of all of the people that responded. Actually, somebody's modified that. Let me go find you another one. Oh. This is an old event that's been cut apart. We take all of the responses and we basically, here's what happens next. All the people get put in a spinner. It's called Wheel of Names. We spin and get an immediate winner. And then guess what else happens? We have a list generally of 50 to 80 people who have said, I'm interested in real estate school. So now one event in my market center creates, 50 to 100 people that gets put into our career night and our zero processes. That becomes a huge lead funnel for us for getting people signed up to join Keller Williams. Okay. So you guys will get access to that whole kit and all the events we've done and some cool things there. Okay, I'm going to exit out. I got to fix this before we do a quick survey. What questions do you have about the events? Anybody doing events or want to tag on with things that have worked well with your events or anything like that? Are you doing events?
I love seeing how you guys are facilitating things for your agents. And it's, it's a huge win-win for the market center because you're helping your agents out and you're getting potential talent to go join your market center. It's huge. It's awesome.
Yes. Yeah, because an individual agent is probably going to have a tough time coming up with $1,000 to give away. And
Or
they're
just even
not,
implementing, taking action.
that's right. Doing it. Yeah, just the whole setup of it. So we just partner with them. That's one of our value propositions in our companies. And it's fun. And let me give you a word of encouragement. And while I'm doing this, please grab your phone and scan this QR code and leave me a survey. And then we're going to jump through some more things. But the thing that we learned is the first time we did an event, like they don't know what it is. So we had to teach them, here's what it is. And then at the end of the event, we had to say, oh my gosh, we generated 137 referrals. And this person, now we go to the next event, this person sold 6 houses from our last event. So you kind of have to tell the stories and start to compound what it is and how it works. Because if you just blast out, we're doing an event, they have no idea what you're talking about. So you got to really help them understand the value of it, the value for their business and how it could work. Okay, Joanna, do you have a question or want to share?
Yeah, I just wanted to, I have a question. We have tried to get agents to sort of buy into this market center led event thought and have gotten some pushback around people infringing on other people's clients, that sort of thing. And so there's been a lot of hesitation. This is something that I would love to do. And I think it could really, I love the reverse prospect, sort of thing. It's brilliant. So we're definitely going to give it a shot, but I'm wondering if there's, if you have any advice on that, if I get some of that pushback. Because I've had it, it has existed before. That pushback has existed before. So we're going to give it a shot. We're going to try it, but I'm just wondering what your thoughts are.
Yeah. So the reverse giveaway, it's like a reverse bold 100 essentially.
Yeah.
That one, the clients aren't there. I mean, so the agents promote it for 3 or 4 weeks and then they're just calling. So you would not have any exposure to someone's client. The responses go to the MCA has this response list. And after the event, we literally cut and paste all of their entries directly to the agent. Nobody else has access to the entries other than market center staff.
Are there other events where clients are with other clients that your market centers have held?
I mean, you could Pi Day for us is one, we do a hot cocoa and hot cider bar and cookies and clients come in and out of the market center to pick up pies. we generally set people up around the office, and like, just in our world, they're not gonna try to like steal, that's a relationship,
Well,
like,
and that,
yeah.
you're
that-
absolutely right. I don't think people will intentionally do anything like that. I think they're just worried about it, so they just don't want to even think about that. Does
Yeah,
that make sense?
it does. I mean, here's the other thing. We put up a step and repeat, like a backdrop. I mean, they're
Yeah.
taking photos. I mean, it would be real weird for somebody to show up and they're in the middle of getting a gift, having cocoa, walking around with their agent and getting photos, and somebody else step into that. I would have a hard
Right.
time seeing like how that would happen, because they're
Okay.
not, they're coming in kind of one at a time. And they're in a space that's set up for them and their business to kind of like connect with their clients. Yeah, the agents are there. Thank you,
Yeah.
Sean. The agents are there like meeting their clients, and they usually know who's RSVP. They have to know who's RSVP because they've ordered a certain number of pies. So they're
Right.
expecting people. Yeah.
Okay. Good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, just give it a try and see how it goes. Leon, did you have a question or want to share?
Yeah, just something short. It might sound silly, Tara. Events is not huge in South Africa, and we're not that well known as Keller Williams in our local area. I was just thinking that an event in our area, maybe somebody else can use it as well, can be an agent event. Our own associates, taking them to. We've got a local rugby club and team here, which is quite good. And rugby is like your football without all the protective clothing, and helmets and stuff. So taking the agents there and giving like a prize for them for whoever shows up in the brand clothing the most, and promote the brand or whatever, just creating it from the inside. And through that, when other events like your pie give out stuff that we're not that used to, but it will make them more open to that.
Yeah, and you could do just a small pop by, like, it's real, like, the reality of this is value to their database, right? So we're just trying to teach them how to do things to stay top of mind with their database, and we're doing it through modeling it. If I'm a team leader and my market center's having a pie day, who should I be giving pies to? Probably recruits. Like, how many pies are the team leaders going to give out to cappers in the market that day? And are we inviting the cappers to swing by the office and pick up their pie so they can see what we do as a company to support our agents? Right? So think about it that way. Like, we're trying to help people learn and understand value and do value-driven events. So, okay, we're going to keep going. We have so much stuff. Okay, so next system, you guys, this is how the class started. This is onboarding. And the reality is, I talked to you all about the Cincinnati story. I found out in that market center, we were purchasing a system called Macromotus, and it was expensive. And so I asked my MCA, I said, well, are we using it? And she said, no, we haven't set it up, because you have to have a spreadsheet or a checklist of items and send them for them to import it in order to get it going. And I said, okay, well, let's just start with the spreadsheet. So literally, the plan was to create a spreadsheet, learn the system really well, and then go back and repurchase Macromotus. And guess what happened? Like, I mean, we're 5 years later and we're still using the spreadsheet, right? Because it works so well, we were able to use this and not have to go buy something else. And we had a V1 of this, and Tristan, he does operations in our market centers. He prettied it up for me like a month or two ago. And so I'm going to show you guys this. And Tristan, if there's anything I miss or you want to share, you guys are going to get a copy. So all you have to do is go through and decide what's important in your market center experience and modify it. And so here you guys can see, this is what it used to look like. So this is just a pretty basic spreadsheet. Our standard for the person onboarding, which is our DFI, is that they complete this entire tracker in 2 days or less. Because the goal for us is that we're leading the experience, not them. So we've said, we're going to give you a 5-star experience. Here's all the things we're going to do. And if they start asking us questions like, hey, where's my blank, blank, blank? We're already behind. So this allows us as a team to go through what we feel is most important, check the boxes off by role and who's going to own it, and kind of go from there. Okay. Joanna, did you have another question?
Yeah, is this interactive with Command?
This is
Like,
not
if-
interactive in
or-
Command.
Do you use Command for any of your steps?
So that would probably be our intention, right? As I understand, unless this has changed, we've not gotten there yet, and here's why. The processes that you build, when you go in to reset they have to be like reset. And for us, with kind of where we're trying to grow, we've not gotten to a place where we wanted to go in and reassign each step to each person to get it flow at the flow we want it to. And that is our ultimate intention. Initially, we didn't do it because we hyperlink a lot of stuff and they didn't have a hyperlink option. And yet now I understand that is available. So Pam asked, how often do we inspect this? When I was a team leader in my market center, we opened this tracker in our huddles almost every single day. And we said, because here's the thing, we said, who's in? Again, what's our goal and what's our gap? Who's in, who've we onboarded, who's out, who's we offboarded, and all of the things like that. So we do, I see somebody's asking about document storage. We have started storing the signed packets in Command. Tristan, what else are we putting in Command at onboarding? Their signed documents go there now, right?
Yeah, so independent contractor agreement, the offer letter, if that's an associate who gets an offer letter, and like an info sheet. I think that's really about it for right now.
Yeah, so we're storing their packet now in Command. So we're starting to integrate that piece so we can go back and everybody can find that easily. So just so you guys can see this, we have a drop down in here on their production. Is it an R0, an R1, or an R2? The way this is set up, based on what you select, it's going to assign some company dollar in there. We have their cap start date. So like if the team leader has cap managed someone, we would like to know what month they've cap managed them so that the MCA can account accordingly to that. Do they have listings that they have in their active inventory that we're going to be moving? That's an important part for a capper. And then we kind of want to know, like, is there an offer letter and what's included in that offer letter? So we're able to just go back and keep up with what we've promised and it not be super bumpy. What is their former brokerage? We have all their contact information. And then these are the steps, here's some stuff to prepare for onboarding. These are the steps we do during onboarding, right? And these are some things that are happening after onboarding, including setting up smart plans. Like when they join us, we go in and we send their sponsor an email congratulating them on sponsoring someone. We give them an introduction to our 30-day orientation tracker you guys are going to get access to. They get a birthday touch email. They get an anniversary email. They get, and then we do a social media post and immediately upon license transfer. So I'll just touch on this real quick. You guys, growth, it can be messy and it can be scary. And the reason we want to be very diligent about the process is when we do it well, we solidify the decision to come. When we don't do it well, the scary process gets really scary. And they don't know yet if they trust us. And if we drop the ball on a transition, they go, ooh, I think I made the wrong decision. I'm going to go back to my former broker. Okay. And I'll just tell you this, we just onboarded a $15 million producer here that I met in 2019. She was one of the lost agents I called at this brokerage that told me she had onboarded, stayed 2 weeks, and left the company because it was so messy. And that would have been in 2018. She joined us in August of 2024. It took me 6 years to get her back because our market center botched the onboarding experience. Does that make sense? that cost, so let's calculate the cost of that. That's a $20,000 cap that we lost for 6 years because we botched onboarding. Can anybody do that math? That was a $120,000 loss. So back to your question, Pam, who's holding this accountable? I think that your MCA and team leader need to set very clear expectations on the experience, because when we drop the ball, not only does it cost us money, but it's our story, right? So she left here and it was like, Keller Williams is a mess. We were a mess. It was a new launching market center. We had no systems in place. But the reality is it cost us a ton of money, and it took a long time to get that relationship back, 6 years, okay? So the other piece is for us, when they come into onboard, we take a photo that goes in our closed Facebook group. So it's real casual, welcoming them to the company, because sometimes they onboard and don't officially transfer their license for a week. But I want them to be plugged in, and I want 20 people to say, welcome to Keller Williams. We're so glad you're here. It's like the more that we expose it, the harder it is to leave. And so then the minute the license transfers, that announcement is on social media, because now I got 50 more people going, congratulations on joining Keller Williams. And if I do have a hiccup, I've got their ego is going to feel really weird turning around and going back. So the processes we put in place are really, really important, because it actually is a piece of the retention. And by not doing it, or your team isn't doing it, you're leaving things hanging that could show up in a loss for you in the future, right? So think about things that solidify the experience. We lost an agent in one of my market centers about 3 months ago because she couldn't find her mailbox. And here's the thing. She had a mailbox. She couldn't find it because it wasn't in the right place. And she was a capper that left the company. So I don't know, maybe I lost $100,000 that day. But there was a conversation around her walking around the market center and knowing her mailbox was there and created, and we had a place for her that was missed, and it cost us a lot of money, right? So just be aware, like, here's the thing, this is how we learn. And you got to start somewhere, and how you know if something's missing is it just keeps coming up. It's missing. Like if they keep asking, we're missing a step. So that is the onboarding tracker. You guys will have that. You're also going to get a copy of our onboarding packet. And this is just what we've put together that includes just some policies. The ICA is in there. Signage stuff is in there. That's all in here, and it's editable, and you guys can use it and make it your own. Just kind of flip through and show you. Pay plans are in there. Oh, this is important. Our market centers have 2 pay plans. They're explained before the agents join, but in that onboarding time block. So when we invite them to come on board, there's a video explaining it again. Because there's nothing worse than your DFI is sitting in an onboarding and the agent goes, wait, I don't know how that works. I think we all can explain some things. And I also think there are people that are better to explain things than others, right? So it's going to help set your people up for success if we've got things in place to prevent hiccups. So you guys will get access to that. Okay, this is one of my favorite things. So part of our goal, part of our experience is we want to get a 5-star. We want them to have a 5-star experience, and we want the feedback. Okay. So in our world, our DFI holds the appointment. We've set the expectation. She's repeated the expectation, and we're going to do a survey of the experience after onboarding. Now, I actually pay for these. We do a little bonus on surveys received and communicated. Okay, so I want my DFI to receive it, bring it into the leadership team, and communicate the results. And by doing so, I will bonus them for collecting the survey. So here's what the survey looks like. Welcome to our market center. On a scale of 1 to 5, how would you rate your transition and onboarding experience? How was the paperwork session? there was one thing we could have changed, what would it be? Did we cover all of your questions? Do you need us to reach out and clarify anything in a one-to-one? How clear are you on who to go to for help in the Market Center? What's one thing we can provide today to take your business to the next level? Are you dual career? Are you a veteran? Who are the top 3 agents that you know that would benefit from a move to Keller Williams? So I want our standard is I want 3 referrals in their first 30 days. And if we're not getting 3 referrals, I feel like we've got a value gap, right? Next one is, who are your favorite vendors or affiliates that you like to do business with? Because outside income is big for us. So I want to know who they like to partner with. We're going to then reach out to them and talk about that program. And then somebody put in here, tell me about your big why. So anything we need to know about you. And then here's my favorite. I want those Google reviews. So please click here, leave us a 5-star review and click it's done. So Google knows we're important because we work to get this from every person that we hire. And my DFI chases this because this is their bonus is tied to it. Okay. So you guys are going to get that. If you click the sample one, it will just create it in your drive and you can modify it for your Market Center. And you can do whatever you want with it. Anybody doing anything different on surveys that we need to know about? I see that Joanna is excited about the survey. I like Joanna. She's got that operations brain. She's like, build the system and run it. Yeah. Okay. Next one, you guys, is the offboarding tracker. So very similar to onboarding. We just got to reverse the process. Here's how we learn this. Somebody left my Market Center. We didn't remove them from the Facebook group. And 2 days later, there was I'm going to just say 50 signs. There was a yard sign sale in the Facebook group. And it went like this. Anybody want to buy these 50 Keller Williams signs? That's not good. So that's not good. That doesn't look good or feel good, right? Because then you go to delete it and they're like, why'd you take that down? You don't want people selling their signs in the office? Are they leaving? Right? So when we know somebody's leaving, the first thing we do is remove them from any type of mass communication, right? So you guys will get access to this. It's all here, right? Oh, logistically, let me explain this. We create a template, okay? Each month, you're going to make a copy. You're going to duplicate your template, and you're going to name the copy that month. 24. Then it's the next month. And we go, okay, now we're in August. So we're going to make a copy of the template and we're going to name it August. So in my world right now, we've got months and months and months and months of trackers, which is pretty cool. I'm going to give you guys a freebie. If you're anybody not hitting your gross goals for the year, I'm going to give you a freebie. Hey, here's the script. You're going to go through everybody you've onboarded for 2024 and you're going to call them and you're going to say, hey, one of our standards as a Market Center is we want to make sure that we put someone in your downline your first year with us. Were we successful at doing that? And if not, who are the top 3 people we need to talk to this month so we can get them in before the end of the year? There's your freebie. So by having these in these trackers, we can easily copy and paste emails and phone numbers and do all kinds of things we want to do logistically to then compound the results, okay? So that's in here. And the other thing, we've got a template email. So, if people leave our company, they're going to get an email, right away within the first 24 hours, asking them to return their key fob, return any signs they have checked out, any type of logistical things. Like, I will say this, we don't go out of our way to hurt people. We don't. And yet, in some of our markets, we're purchasing things like we're still using dot loops. In some of my Market Centers, there's a cost to that. So we just let them know, hey, after 30 days, you're going to lose access to this system. And here's the process to get the information out of it if you choose to keep that. So we don't want to damage people because a lot of them come back. And yet we want to communicate really well what they can expect as part of their transition. So that is offboarding. This is the orientation tracker. And Lexi, our agent services, kind of owns this in our world. I'm gonna pull this up and show you guys. Okay, so this is the V1. You can see May 2022. This was during COVID, and we created it during COVID because we wanted to have ways to train and onboard people kind of that were sitting at home, right? And so this was a 30, 60, 90 for us that we've now turned into a 30. Okay. So this is now, you guys will get both templates. The reason we reverted to a 30 is because with a robust PC program, we found that there was overlap and we were teaching them things and PC was teaching them things. So now our focus is more about activating their business and activating their technology. So like, I want them to come in their first 30 days and set up smart plans. I want their smart plans running. I want a text going out to their database every month. Campaigns are running and like things are happening for people to respond. So they're excited about getting into business. And then any other, like you guys can see, we have connect to the printer, forward your email. We have some classes, right? Like classes, if you have required training for contracts or anything like that, that's all built into this as well. And then at the end, this is important. I really want them to do a 15-minute-ish conversation with our team leader regarding growth. So he's going to go again. How's your first 30 days been? Were we able to successfully get some referrals to grow your profit share tree? And the team leader is going to go back and verify that our team has delivered the expectation. Okay. So everybody's kind of tied in at some level to this tracker and us making sure that we're taking great care of our people. Here's what I'll tell you. Why I love the Google trackers is you can open it up in any huddle and we can see what's happening in our business. I can see if we're managing onboarding. I can see who's going out and if we're managing that. I can see if somebody has never touched the onboarding tracker. I know. And I go, oh, shoot, that's a red flag. Somebody needs to get with them because they've been here 3 weeks and they've not set up their email. That's a problem. Email's kind of weird because we actually set that up, but we can kind of gauge where our people are based on their engagement in their systems. Okay. And then you guys are going to get this. This is the orientation binder. Lexi, did I miss anything on that tracker? Anything you want to add?
No, we are improving that just a little bit too, from the aspect of some of that is like permission to play stuff, like things that they have to do. They have to apply for their license. They have to join the local board. So some of that differs from an R0 or an R new, depending on what you're referencing them, and a capper when they come in. They have different needs and different things that they have when they come in. So we're looking at it right now and potentially coming out with a new 30-day tracker, but it'll still be 30 days. It'll still be geared to getting them into the systems. And kind of like Tara mentioned, the important part is that they buy into the Keller Williams value. And a large part of that is command, the smart plans, and those things that kind of come with that. And then those meetings at the end. And so as long as they're following through that 30-day tracker, whether it looks like this one or whether it looks like the one that we're currently doing, the important part is we're tying them into the market center at a high level with the engagement of the team and their engagement. And if they're not engaging, then we know we have a red flag with them, which again triggers a retention appointment of some kind. So
yeah, this is, yeah, again, Lexi, you're right. Like we're really looking at activating things so that things are moving, like people are communicating. One of the first texts that we started doing this with in Cincinnati was they joined the company. Most of their contacts are in their cell phone. And we import the cell phone numbers in. And so then we just do a Twilio text. Hey, this is Tara. I just wanted to let you know, I just got my real estate license. I'm going to be doing some really cool client events this year and want to make sure that I have your email and your mailing address and your birthday. Can you provide those 3 things for me today? And we send it out to 500 people. And guess what? First week in the business, all these people are sending them their data for their database. So that feels exciting and like movement in an agent business, right? So next one, you guys, is the orientation track binder. So we took this away during COVID, and then we realized like agents really like the binder. And so when they come in to do onboarding, they get things from us. We give them like we'll tell you all the things we give them, but we give them a little bag of goodies. They get a binder with their name on it. In a perfect world, I'd love for them, we want to offer them the Ignite book. They purchase that so they can walk out with that material in their hand with some resources. But this is also in Canva. The binder just has the things that are kind of important for us, important office information, who the leadership team is. We've got ALC, what the committees are, some processing stuff for if you're a new agent. We do complimentary business cards and name badge through Agent Store, and yet they've got to request the promo code to get that. So instructions on how to set that up and check out. We used to auto create those. And what was crazy was I had piles and piles of business cards for people that never picked them up. So now I want them to meet me halfway. I'm going to give you a free pack of cards, but you've got to do the work to kind of request the promo code. Orientation tracker, classes, you guys can see. We've got some playbook stuff, command cheat sheets, how to set up your printer. Just anything that you feel is appropriate in giving them a resource. We've got signage information. We have Kellerisms in here. And we also do sample contracts. So buyer and seller packets. There's what you get for your fee with us. There's the signage. It's all printed and it's in the binder for them when they come in. Sean Strain, you have a question or you want to share?
No question. How did you switch over from Scott Leroy automatically doing that to the QR code? And so I imagine Lindsay gets a bill every month for how many QR codes or coupon codes were activated, and then you pay.
Close. Yeah, close. You actually pre-buy them in bulk. So we'll buy 10 or 20 QR codes, promo codes, and they keep them on a spreadsheet. And so then like agent services, the agents will go through this and they'll text Lexi and go, hey, I'm ready to get my business cards. Can I have a promo code? And she'll grab one. Or Lexi works with them in their 30-day orientation tracker. So she might just sit down with them, create the cards and promo code it. We just told Scott Leroy we weren't going to auto create them because
I remember.
It was a mess. Yeah, we had typos. Like they'd be like, oh my gosh, I don't like that picture. So we just said, okay, you do the work to create the card you want. Then if they want more cards or different cards, they still get the 25 off, but they can actually upcharge to something else if they want it.
Sure. Gotcha. Okay. So is that through Scott Leroy or did you contact Agent Store directly?
So Scott Leroy works with Agent Store, I believe. So you just tell Scott Leroy you want to stop auto creating. And then you can contact Agent Store and tell them you'd like to get the promo codes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they'll set you up. But I'll just tell you this: when you go to Family Reunion, they have special deals.
Yeah.
So I usually I go in the booth and I'll buy about 20 per market center, because they'll give you like 10 free or something. So go in and get you a deal on them when you're in Family Reunion.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Do I have time for this? I do think I have time for this. This will be our last thing today. You guys, this is the jam. Okay. So here's the thing. We have a goal. So I've come in as OP in 4 market centers, and 2 of the ones I bought in the last year were losing $30,000 to $40,000 a month. They were losing money and reserves were depleted. So I had to go in quickly and reduce staffing and create income very fast. And both of the market centers that I purchased, we turned a profit within 45 days. Okay. You got to pay your last payroll and then you got to show you get your profit going. So how we do this is through this affiliate program. Our goal in our market centers is to create $20,000 a month in outside income. Okay, and I'm gonna just kind of show you what this looks like. This is a template. Like, I'll just tell you, if you guys don't know Gabby Davis in Atlanta, she took this class with me and she stopped me at family reunion and she said, Tara, we're already at 30,000 a month and we've created another cool tool with a Google form for onboarding these guys, right? So in our world, the affiliate program, we've got 3 tiers. We've got silver, gold, and platinum. When we started in the market centers, silver was $250 a month, gold was $500, and platinum was $1,000. As the program grew, we had demand, we had a waiting list. So then we moved up to like $250, $800, $1,600. And so essentially these guys are paying to participate in our world. This is a BNI group on steroids, okay? So if you pay me $250 a month in this market center, you're gonna get these 7 items. You're gonna get a Facebook post. We're gonna email you our roster every month. You can display your information in one place in the market center, right? You're gonna be on our website. You're gonna be in our orientation packet. Like, this is what you get. If you decide to go in at gold, you're gonna get everything in both categories. Okay, so in our world, this is a monthly fee that they pay to participate. And here's the other thing. We also don't pay for anything else. We have a weekly sales meeting that's sponsored by an affiliate. They provide lunch, like they're still buying lunches. They sponsor our events. And yet if the value is there, they will pay to participate. And when they pay, they're our partner. So they actually get to come in and out of our market center. They can come to any trainings, any events. Okay, Joanna asked if it's exclusive. In the platinum tier, we do 1 platinum affiliate per category. So we only have 1 platinum lender, like 1 platinum home inspector, but anything under platinum, we will do multiples of, okay? And then you just wanna make sure you don't have too much. The market center is like 200 agents. We find that we don't need more than like 5 lenders, right? And so at that point, we have a wait list, and probably when we reset, we're going to increase our price a little bit. Okay. We do everything. We'll do anything that would help a real estate agent. We have mobile notaries. We have home inspectors. Title is a JV for us. So we don't compete on title, but we have loan officers, Cutco knives, repair people. We have roofers, all the things, right? They sign a 1-year contract. And then, you know, we do that all year. We're adding people. So if you don't have the program, what we generally would do, this is what we do when we go into a new market center. We do 1 big info session. We might have 20 or 30 people where we pitch the value of the program, the vision of the company, how we see other affiliates win in this program. And we get a bunch of people signed up. Usually 10 or 15 will sign up out of the gate. And then, we build on it from there. Sean, you asked about specific goals. We asked them. So I'll show you this next slide. We asked
Treated
them.
like a recruit? I mean,
huh?
yeah, you're treating it almost like a recruit, right? Like, what's your needs? What do you want to achieve? And how do I help you grow?
Yes, exactly. We have a packet in here. So this is the kind of contract setup. So this is in Canva. It's editable. So you can see, like, we keep this in Dotloop or DocuSign, and once they express interest, we send them the packet. This is their packet, and they sign off on it. Those are additional sponsorship opportunities. There's the agreement, and then they select their level, and they put in their credit card, and my MCA sets up billing, right? It's a 1-year contract. And yet people can come in and out of the program. Like, we don't only sign people up in January. If somebody wanted to join in May and we had a space, we would sign them up in May. So I will show you. Oh, this is what Gabby Davis created. So I asked her if I could use it in this class. This is an intake form. So now when I have an intake form like this, my agents can have this link. And if somebody's interested in being an affiliate in our market center, the agents can share the link that person can fill it out, and we're just lead receiving now of vendors that are interested. So I'll show you what her link looks like. It's just information about their business, the categories, and then all of the different levels are in, it's just a digital format in a Google form. And then we do, you guys saw this calendar invite, but around the 15th of every month, our DFI is going to send out a survey to every affiliate we're in business with and get answers to some of the questions you just asked, Sean. Hold on, let me go back. Click the wrong thing. Oh, that's not letting me click. Okay. So the survey asks, how many referrals did you get from our agents this month? What, if anything, can we do in the next 30 days to bring more value to your business? Would you like to teach a class next month? That's important because we want to get it around mid-month, so it's in the final training calendar by the end of the month. And then which of our agents are supporting you well? And who is one agent that is not currently at Keller Williams that we should connect with this week? Your affiliates are amazing for referrals. So you're just gonna, like, you guys can see lots of systems, right? And we've set up triggers on when and how to use them. After this goes out, the DFI is gonna call and do a care call that week. George, we have, in our kind of business model, we would have your three key. So you would have your MCA, team leader, and DFI. For us, up to about 150 agents. We would then hire agent services / tech. So 4 staff for up to around 200. And of course, we have PC and broker and some of those other things in place as well, that are not full-time staff. And then the next one you guys will see, there's just some posts. So we keep external posts. Now we've got about 5,000 followers in each of our company Facebook pages. So that's part of our value to the vendors, is we're now going to promote your information on our social pages as one of our partners. So this is just templates for the social posts that should be going out each month as part of that affiliate program. So you guys, we made it. I'm gonna stop sharing. I'll go back to if you didn't leave a survey, this is half of the class, right? So next week, we're gonna do this again, and there's so much more information. This should probably be like a multiple session training. And yeah, I would love to hear from you all. Like, what are some of your takeaways, and what are you excited to implement from the training today? 2 hours did fly by.
For me, I think it's okay to use a Google Sheet.
Yes, I love Google Sheets. I am a big fan.
So do I, but I always feel like people think, you're old school because you're still using a Google Sheet, but I love a good Google Sheet. So, but there's so much stuff, I think, a lot of stuff I think that we're doing that I can see we can do at a much higher level. And I think improve on what we're doing. I think this was like on steroids. I love it. I really think it's really, really good.
Thank you. Yeah, so you guys are multiple market center owners. So I will tell you this, once you get this created and you've kind of like tweaked it, we can just duplicate it. That's the cool thing about models and systems. And that's who we are, right? Keller Williams, models, systems, and tools. And so we can then go into another leadership team and we can do it again. So thank you for sharing that. What else did you guys take away? Anybody have takeaways or questions?
Tara, I have a question.
Sure.
So for the 30 minutes retention appointments for your staff members, what are they doing? Like, what is the MCA's topic that they're coaching to? What is the DOFI? Like, I understand like Lexi and everybody, they've read the MREA now several times, so they're a lot more, but in the beginning, what's their goal? What are they trying to get out of that?
Yeah, so Sean's talking about Lexi. She was with me a year and she read the MREA 5 times. Director of Agent Services, 5 times. So like, I can just tell you all, I don't know if I've read it front to back 5 times. I've read portions of it, but when you have people on your team that are studying our models at that level, life gets a little easier. Sean, we either do one model for the entire market center. Like we might decide, hey, it's business planning clinic time. We're just gonna all go focus on economic models this month. Or we might do something like the DFIs for us focus on social media, Canva and social media content. Our MCAs do a lot of P&Ls, budgeting, things like that. The agent services are usually for us do a lot more in command, campaigns and technology. And then your team leaders are business consulting, like high level business consulting and MREA models. So that would be like the basics of what people focus on. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else? We've got a couple minutes. Anybody want to share any other takeaways?
Hey Tara, I threw something in there. I was just asking, in those MCs that you recently are in the process of turning them around, and you know, the assumption that they had losses, they weren't growing consistently, maybe even shrinking. What's a realistic timeline to go ahead and start implementing triggers of change? And where would you start?
Yeah, so we start, this is 3 places. Number 1, staffing. The last 3 market centers I came into, we were massively overstaffed. We were overstaffed and there were no standards or expectations. So in Louisville, we cut our staff from like 9 to 3 in a week. And that's one. You got to reduce your staffing expenses. The second one is leasing offices. So the ones I've come into, there was no floor plan and no model or system for how we lease offices and the cost of the offices. So we almost immediately measure off offices, calculate rent recapture, and we focus on renting offices. And then the third thing is that affiliate money. If you can cut your expense by 10,000 and increase your immediate outside income from 10,000, I've just created a $20,000 swing in profit. And that's where you see that flip really, really quick.
Sure. So readjusting and reorientating staff, your human resource capital, and then just focusing on generating immediate revenue.
Generate immediate revenue through those partnerships. And the reality is, and to be fair, I think it takes a solid year to get it all correct.
There's the answer. Solid year to get it all implemented. So
Somebody
all on time here, folks.
It takes a solid year to really see change in a market center, but you've got to flip those levers really quick that are really depleting resources. And then you go to your key people, create job descriptions and standards, and you reset them on a 30, 60, 90. Like I actually had to go into one that was losing money and I had to raise my staff salaries. We were grossly underpaying our team leader, like tears, lots of tears. And I said, honey, you can't do this job for what you're making. So I had to raise money in some things and lower it other places, but we've built it. And now we know here's where you start. Here's where you get a pay raise and here's where you get another pay raise, right? So once you build it, you just kind of follow your model to navigate the market center and the growth. So I hope this was super helpful, you guys. I appreciate, somebody has a question. Hold on. 11:06, do you have a question?
I'm sorry, it's already 12:02. I was kind of just wanting to know that same thing, but I can ask next week. Like, I already have some systems in place, yours are awesome. And it's like, I just wanted to know, like, it's chunked down, right? So thank you.
Yeah, just start with the key things and get your team lined out. Because here's the thing, this is an airplane in air and the wing fell off. So we've got to continue to grow and cast a vision why we are correcting things that probably need correcting. And that's all part of it. It's part of the fun. And it's a lot of fun when you look up and you're winning at a high level. So we will email out slides for today with all the resources and the video, and we will plan to see you all next week. Thank you so much for being here. If I can help in any way, let me know. And we're excited to be on the journey with you.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Gracias. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.